And like I was talking earlier, you know, one of the people that really helped me out a lot in this industry is my current boss, Wong Jing. His surname is Wong. You know, this actually is his artist name, his stage name, but everyone knows him as that. And he's a very prolific scriptwriter, producer, director, actor. He's done all those things, right? He's done a lot of comedy. He's done every genre of movie he has produced, and he's one of the most prolific producers in Asia. He's seen my work prior to signing me, and then wanted to sign me. And how I met him was through my good friend Nick Jie. He's a very famous like idol singer. Right now, he's doing a big series of chef cooking shows in China. But anyways, he's a very prolific actor, and we were filming a movie called Dark October. I don't know if the English name has changed right now, but my buddy won Hong Kong Film Awards, like equivalent to Hong Kong Oscars, I guess. That movie did really well. Anyways, when I was filming that movie, I had a really small role, but my buddy Nick, he was learning Wing Chun from me at the time, and then we're also real good buddies. And they wanted to, Wong Jing wanted to grab him for a film, to do a film, and then he asked me if I wanted to go out and meet him. And I said, you know, I was kind of down, you know, like I said, you know, my effort moment, you know, like I was not feeling great about my career, you know, and everything at the time, and I didn't want to go out. And he's like, look, dude, I'm gonna go out, you know, I never go out. You should come out. Come on, dude. You know, I'm like, all right, you're like super famous, and you're asking me to go out. All right, dude, I'll go out. So we went out, and we sat down, and I met Wong Jing, and my good friend Nick, and he's like, yo, I need someone to fight in this movie too. You know, as someone who I think I'm comfortable fighting. You know, he was obviously talking about me, and like I said, like I couldn't have gone anywhere in this business without the help of friends and people who really care about me, and I was very blessed to have friends like that. And I mean, there's quite a few, but Nick was definitely the one that really introduced me to my current boss. And after that, I made a movie with him, that movie, and also and I think he showed his interest in having me be part of his company, and then eventually I was, so up to today. I think it's the same with anything, right? I mean, everything that I learned, I don't want to be cheesy, but like you have to have like some kind of focal point, some kind of thing in your life that you relate to whenever you go through certain trials and tribulations that you're not familiar with. You have to go back to a certain experience in your life, and for me, that's kung fu, right? Like we're taught to solve problems in real time under extreme pressure, with someone stabbing us, punching us, kicking us, trying to do us harm. We're trying to solve that problem and incapacitate that person, right? I mean, it's a real life problem solving exercise, right? So every time I fall into a trap where I'm like, oh, I'm just going in circles and everything, then I go back to think about, okay, well, everything in life is just a problem to be solved, right? And we all have the tools to do it. We just have to find certain ways. So, I mean, I would go back to maybe certain kung fu principles, like try to do things, you know, like in Wing Chun, there's 3 principles: simplicity, efficiency, and directness, right? You know, it's easy to say these things, but we, as humans, we go roundabout ways to do a lot of things, right? We don't direct our goals. We don't understand how to control emotions at certain points, and understanding certain emotions aren't productive at certain points, right? So, I mean, I think that training really helped me a little bit, but I think it doesn't matter what kind of training you've had. The most important thing is you have to set your goal, and you have to persevere, and you have to understand your like the good things about yourself, the good points and the bad points. The bad points, you try to make them good points, or you try to keep attaining knowledge to cover those points, right? And then make the good points more prevalent, let people know about them. But perseverance is key. Problem solving, goal setting, these are all important things. I think if you watch any video, any motivation video of anybody who's relatively successful, I think they all tell you the same thing, you know. Failure is the key to success. And why did I say that? Is every time I fail, it teaches me what not to do, and it's motivation for me to move forward. I'll just say something simple, right? Tying your shoes. Remember learning to tie your shoes? You don't remember, but it's very difficult. But now you've done it so much, you failed at it so much, you've done it so much, you can tie your shoes just talking, doing an interview, not looking. I mean, you just have to you have to persevere in a correct way, and learn from your mistakes. And if you fail, It's telling you what not to do or how to do something better, and to give you motivation to move forward. And sometimes failing doesn't really have to do with you or anything. It could be just a perception, or you can perceive it could be a fail. It seems like a failure at that time, but it's something destined for you to lead to where you are now. For instance, there's a movie called Kung Fu Hustle. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. At that time, I also wrote for a Kung Fu magazine, Kung Fu Qigong magazine, and I interviewed Stephen Chow. One of his producers I met earlier, and I interviewed him for Kung Fu Soccer, the movie he did. Is it Kung Fu Soccer? Yeah, it's Kung Fu Soccer that he did prior to Kung Fu Hustle. Then got to know him a little bit. He found out I was his Kung Fu brother. We both trained under Wong Jing, but that was just like a common point for me to kind of get in. And I did a little casting for him for Kung Fu, and I got the role. But then but at the same time, at that time I was filming Star Runner. At the same time, but then I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity. And I was talking to Qing Gaolong, the guy who, the boss of the team, and also the director, the producers. I'm like, it's just a good opportunity for me. Is it okay? Can you release me from this gig so I can go do that one, right? So, but one thing led to another. They decided to change cast, to change characters. So I didn't get the role, but I ended up going back to be a stuntman on Star Runner. And at the time, you're thinking, oh man, being a stuntman or being like, wow, one of the principal actors on this big film under Stephen Chow, because Stephen Chow was a big deal, and he still is, but even back then it was a big deal, and that didn't end up happening, and I felt like, oh man, I'm kind of like, well, where do I go from here? I'm just going to be stuntman or whatever. But that was integral to my career. If I didn't stay in this craft and get to a level that I am now, where I can action direct and be a choreographer, I would lose that part of my attributes, like part of my skill set, right? And also, very importantly, the relationships that I made in Star Runner with Vanessa, with Andy, with everyone else on there, was super. It was super important to the rest of my career. The way that things ended up now wouldn't have happened if I did not stay on Star Runner. So